All right, welcome to the first Riff Rats podcast. I am going to be your host, Eric Nelson. With me here is the co-host, Quentin Jenkins. Quentin, say hi.
Howdy.
Yeah, so that's basically the reason we started this whole podcast thing. It's kind of stupid. Me and Quentin were sitting in here in a shed. We were smoking some cigars, and crazy idea came up. Hey, why not start a podcast? You know, it's stupid, but whatever. And that's kind of why we're here. So just to let you guys know, this first podcast, it's going to be short. It's just going to kind of be introducing things and telling you what's going on. So to start with that, the thing we're going to be talking about in these podcasts are going to revolve around the school, so things that are going on in school at the Danville Area High School. The other things we're going to be having going on here is we will have guests, and we can have like guest speakers. There'll be friends, random people if they want to join. We've got a few people already lined up, like 5 people. So if you're interested, you can contact Quentin about that.
Put in real quick.
Yeah.
And with the guests, so we prefer that if we know you, of course, you can do it in person with us in the shed. But I've got a teacher that wanted to be in it, and he said he'd be willing to call us, which we will take too.
Yeah, so like if you can't make it in, or if Corona is something that concerns you, I guess that is something that we could bring up as an option. Just just to make it fun.
Yeah. Fun.
Anyways, as I was saying, so we'll have guests on the show. That's something that's going to be kind of the main thing. And along with that, we will be talking about like stories. So we'll be telling stories, either it be like about me and Quentin, and the guests that are on the show. They can share their stories or stories that we have together. Now, with that being said, so those are the main things we'll be talking about. Quentin here is going to tell you guys about different social media platforms and how you can get in touch with us.
Yeah. All right. So first off, we based it all off of our Instagram, which is Riff Rats. It's Riff_Rats_podcast. And it's a pretty new account. Got about 40 followers. And on that account, we have like the YouTube link in the bio, pretty much a little short paragraph of who we are. And before every podcast, or when we post each podcast, the first one's good. This will be going out this Thursday. We post like a small clip of what we think is like something funny or something important of that podcast, like a 25 to 30 second clip.
Yeah, and that sounds pretty good. And along with that, little updates, just things you'll see on there to quickly glance at for, because going to YouTube just for everything to view updates and stuff. Even though I do know that they have YouTube Shorts, which we could maybe dabble in.
It's almost like Instagram.
Yeah, so we might be able to do that, but for now, because a lot of you guys do have Instagram, it would be a good way to get in contact through that.
And with our YouTube, it is the same name as the Instagram, but it's easier to go through the Instagram bio, click on the link, it'll take you straight there. And that's where we're going to post all of the full podcasts, which will be every Thursday. I'm not sure if we're going to have a set time as to when they'll be posted, or because we both have school and work. I'm going to be the one editing, so it could be any time throughout the day, probably the afternoon. And we'll use it for, like I said, posting the full podcasts, any short little stories you want to make. And yeah, that's where all the content's going to be.
Yepper. And so now, I mean, a lot of you guys, most of you people who are viewing this or are going to be watching this podcast probably know us personally. If you don't know us, I guess we could kind of introduce ourselves. I'll go first. So as I said, I'm going to be hosting this. My name's Eric Nelson. I'm just, kid from Danville, like working on cars, hanging with my buddies. Used to mountain bike. I don't know. I work at a diesel shop. I don't know. I mean, I got a little bit of ADHD. I'm a little crazy sometimes, but I mean, that's about it. Just pretty simple man, living a simple life.
Yeah, I'm not too far off that either. I go to the same school. I'm Quentin Jenkins. I've got probably worse ADHD than he does, but hey, pro duo, I guess. And I work at McDonald's. Been there for 2.5 years. Going to college for aviation maintenance and technology. I'll be a shit show, but hey, it is what it is, I guess.
Heck yeah. And I'm looking at possibly military or for anything mechanical, diesel mechanics, or just trade. Kind of like our style, and we'll kind of just have like muscle memory, just like as we go into each one. And I think it'll also get more interesting as we add people, like guests.
Yeah, we'll get more comfortable. We'll get like some cooler people. Like I said, my teacher, it's a math teacher. He said he'd be willing to take part in it, which I think is really cool. I mean, we're going to have to limit it. And talk about what we say, but he's a really cool dude. I think it'll be a great time. You don't really see much kind of stuff like that. Students getting active with teaching at school, which I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Now, what's something else we can talk about? So another thing you guys should know. So for our first setup, so obviously we are in a shed. So the acoustics, as you could probably hear already, are pretty trash. We're gonna try and work on that, as well as our microphone. Got a like $25 Walmart microphone. It's better than Chromebook and I believe iPhone. And at least with the microphone, when we have guests, we have a central point to talk to. Because if we had a phone we're passing around, it wouldn't work too well. But like I said, we're still figuring that out. So hopefully over time we can fix that by adding some deadening in here and a better quality microphone.
Yeah.
But I guess, is there anything else you'd like to talk about for this podcast?
I mean, like we said, we're recording in my garden shed, so we got tractors, bicycles, other random shit. It's not the best place in the world, but it is. I mean, it's a vibe. It's a little bit chilly. We're gonna buy new heat and all, but
yeah. And from there, we'll kind of work our way up. We might eventually get to the point where we actually do video podcasts, which would be, I think, pretty cool. Having guests here and we can actually show ourselves. You can see what's going on.
Yeah, you can see our emotions and how we're all acting.
Yeah, it feels a little more inclusive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is it. That is all. So I guess we'll wrap this up. We will be posting it. It's currently Tuesday, so we're going to be posting that this Thursday. So that's when it's up. Like I said, we don't have a time. It's already up, so it doesn't really matter. Anyways, I guess that'll be it. Riff Rats Podcast. It's coming to you.
See you later, boys.
Yeah.